Hello, this is Tom Cahill. It's the 20th of July 2024. Right, so yesterday on the 19th, I was informed that 77 pilot whales were beached on an island in the Orkney Islands, which is off the north coast of Scotland. There's all these little islands that no one really can live on because they're very small, and you look on the map. Anyway, so the reason for this mass whale beaching instance is testing sonar under the water, which kills them in massive numbers. Because what happens is they're very, very sensitive to energy waves, and it's eventually been admitted that if you're under the water and the Navy's using sonar, it can very badly physically damage you. But it's all kept under wraps because the military are so dependent on sonar that if they said, oh, sonar is very, very harmful and it kills loads of whales, even though all these horrible Japanese cunts eat them and they're bad, but we just mass kill them all the time. Whenever they start doing weaponised testing, then these beachings happen, and that's what causes them. But you see, this is a very closely guarded secret because they can't say, oh, we don't fuck the whales, we're just going to keep using sonar, because the public that really will not be acceptable to the public. So that's what's going on there. Right, so that's an important thing to bear in mind. Now, given the timing of all this nonsense about bird flu, which obviously doesn't exist, what's happening is they're now talking, you hear news reports where they're talking about the pandemic that's going to happen, and people got so used to the fact that these things are planned, even though they might not consciously admit it, that they're now just talking about these flus like they're inevitable before they've even happened, and now everyone's going to have to be vaccinated against something, even though vaccines very dubious in all cases, from what I can gather. I'm not saying they all don't work, I'm not sure about that. I'd suggest never get one, I'd definitely suggest that. But it's all very confusing. So, the issue is though, with this bird flu, and I would say it's not coincidental that that's mixed with the sonar. When the birds start falling out of the sky, due to testing of various electromagnetic or whatever it is, waves, yeah, I don't know, I'm not going to get into the technicalities of it, but we know that all these things can be very harmful. I'm not saying that it's good to just get rid of all of them or anything like that, I'm just saying that they can be very harmful. When they crank up some weaponised 5G tower or something like that, I'm not saying it's 5G, but it's that type of stuff. I don't know. I don't want to pigeonhole myself by using technical language, which I don't know anything about, and neither does anyone else, by the way, yeah? So always be suspicious of people who like to use big, long words and stuff. When that pulsing starts, the birds will start falling out of the sky, and either just before or just after that, they'll start going on about bird flu and how you've got to get it. And all the cretins who are going, oh, I'm never getting no vaccine, they'll be beating each other up in the queue because a bird fell in their garden, because it was zapped with a 5G tower. And that's what's going to happen. I can see it. It's hilarious. Anyway, always see the funniness in these things. It's not nice that the birds are going to get killed. Not too sure about the cretins who just fall for every single thing every time and never learn about anything ever. But then again, it will just continue. And anybody who will take a vaccine off somebody who said he wants 19 out of 20 of you dead and he's going to do it with vaccines deserves their fucking head stamping on. So quite frankly, better euthanise them, self-euthanised with the injection, and they can think that they've died a virtuous life, because now having mental health or any health problem is actually lauded as some kind of achievement, and people say they're heroes. There was a kid at school died of cancer when I was in primary school. Well, actually, they weren't dead by the time we went to secondary school. They go, oh yeah, brave, you're not what? No, afflicted by an injury, not brave. Nothing brave. If I get run over by a car, that doesn't mean I'm brave. It doesn't make me better than you. But in the upside down perverted society, actually having something bad happen to you makes you good. Which is, I understand you feel sympathy for the person, but not, you shouldn't think they're better than you because they had something bad happen to them. You might think it's good the way they're coping with it, I get it, but society's sickness is manifesting itself here very clearly. And birds falling out of the sky is what you need to be looking out for, because they will be loving it, fighting in the queue to get the bird flu vaccine. It's absolutely hilarious. Hashtag fun with the peasants, hashtag peasant baiting. It's hilarious. You've just got to laugh at it, because whereas people think that these evil doers like Bill Gates are evil, well, he's an actor for a start off. He didn't invent DOS. People believe all this stupid shit. They believe absolutely anything. His granny and granddad were involved with the great-granny, granddad maybe, the Spanish flu, which wasn't a flu either, which was given to people via injections. They've got a history of murdering masses of people. And that was done in 1918, which was the same time as they started putting radio over the airwaves in Paris. And a load of people dropped dead, and birds fell out of the sky. There's nothing new here. This always happens when they start pulsing out different types of waves. Certain people can't take it and they drop dead, or they get ill and then they get better again. That's how it works. It's linked to flu. Now, another thing is, I put up I think about 12, no, it's 11 episodes, I believe, of this series from, I think, maybe the 60s or something, called Undermined. Not Undermine, Undermined. And the last one was called End Signal. And what it was is something, they said it was from outer space. That's the only difference. There was a signal being pulsed, and it was affecting certain people. And one of the symptoms was getting a cold. So there is actually some evidence of likely predictive programming being put in, decades and decades ago. Of course, you've got Jackatili talking about the how people will walk themselves to the slaughterhouse because they're so thick if you tell them it's good for them, and how you just get rid of all the thick people and it's just the world will be better off. But you see, the thing is, you've got two ways of looking at it. Are they evil? Or are they just giving thick people, dishonest thick people, who can't have zero capability of introspection because they hate themselves that much, because they've got no morals, so therefore they just go round welcoming incoming badness of evil people. It's not possible to be morally okay and go along with any of these things. It is not possible. It's like being a teacher in a school in England now with all the pervert stuff they're teaching the children. It's impossible. And again, going to that subject, when the national curriculum came in, it banned teaching, didn't it? It made teaching illegal. So they're all pedagogues. And I used to think like things like the police were like the most immoral people and social workers and stuff. But I actually think it's probably teachers, isn't it? I don't think you can possibly justify working in a school with all those freak shows and not really be akin to just like a paedophile. I just think that's what they are. I just think it's just completely sick. So anyway, birds will start falling out of the sky, which is a shame, because I do feel sorry for the birds. But all the little jabtards running about, getting more jabs, bragging about how good they are. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, so it's Tom Cahill. It's Saturday, the 20th of July, 2024. Let me know what you think.